All right, let's get into it, everybody. NFL Week 8, sitting here on a Monday night, getting ready for Monday Night Football between the Steelers and the Giants, which should be a one-sided affair, but who knows? But let's go through Week 8 so far. Obviously, one more game to go, but let's rewind the clock. Back to Thursday night. Let's go back to Thursday Night Football with the Vikings and Rams in LA. Probably everybody thought the Vikings are going to win this game. But the Rams come out and shock the world with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua coming back from injury. And Matt Stafford throws a bunch of dimes for 4 TDs in a 30-20 win over the Vikings. Vikings 2 losses in a row, and they've been tough losses. But Stafford again goes 25 for 35, 279, and 4 TDs. Kyron Williams has another great game. Justin Jefferson, the star in the Vikings, lost with 8 receptions and 115 yards. He is so good, Justin Jefferson is. He is far and away the best wide receiver in the NFL, my opinion. All right, let's head over to Sunday and get right into the 1 o'clock games. We had the Eagles visiting the Bengals. I think in my picks this week, I had the Bengals winning this one at home. I like home teams all the time, but the Eagles dominated. Jalen Hurts with a really, really solid game, 16 for 20 for 236 and 1 TD. And Saquon has another great game, 22 carries for 108 yards. But Jalen Hurts gets the majority of the touchdowns in this one, not only throwing a beautiful pass to Devontae Smith, but getting 3 tush pushes. That's a lot of tush pushing. So Eagles are now 5-2 and looking much better as they enter week 9 and 37-17 over the Bengals. Next one, Ravens and Browns. Ravens visiting the Browns. Ravens, of course, going back to their old stomping ground of Cleveland. But the Browns, okay, so you're looking at this game and you're saying Deshaun Watson's out for the season. They're going to start Jameis Winston because their backup is also hurt. And all you can think is the Ravens are the best team probably statistically in the NFL. And if you look at DVOA and some other stats, they are the best team in the NFL for the points they give up, for the points they get. So you got to think they're 5-2 walking into this game, very likely going to be 6-2. But the Browns completely shocked the NFL world with Jameis Winston going 27 for 41 for 334 and 3 TDs. Derrick Henry gets another anytime touchdown in this one. Zay Flowers has a great game, but misses some critical catches. The whole Ravens team missed some critical catches. And the Browns steal this one from the Ravens and get a great home win for their home fans. Amazing. So Browns win over the Ravens at home. The next one, this is becoming consistent, but the Titans lost again. The Titans lost again to the fantastic Detroit Lions at home, Lions home game. Jared Goff, I think this is an amazing stat. I think he passed for like right around 100 yards, and the Lions score 52 points. Absolutely ridiculous running day. Jahmyr Gibbs has 11 carries for 127 and 1 TD. The shining moment or the MVP for the Titans in this loss was Calvin Ridley, who had a nice breakout game for 10 receptions for 143 yards. Mason Rudolph played fine, but the Lions are just a better team, and the Titans are not a very good team, and hate it for them, hate it for Nashville. But the Titans are going down and fast. Will Coach Callahan make a second year for the Tennessee Titans? That remains to be seen. All right, great game in Miami yesterday with the Dolphins and the Cardinals. I thought with Tua back, you're probably looking at a Dolphins win at home, and Chad Ryland hits a last-second field goal to walk it off for the Cardinals, which is 2 in a row for the Cardinals, winning one late. Kyler has a great game, 26 to 36, 307 for 2 TDs. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a ridiculous catch. If you haven't seen that one, go look that one up. But the Cardinals make it 4-4, unbelievably, and the Dolphins are 2-5 and probably out of it. But the whole AFC East, other than the Bills, is pretty bad at this point. So we'll see what happens in the AFC East. But the Cardinals win in Miami, 28-27. Next one, just The Jets and the Patriots at home. Patriots at home. And the Jets find, amazingly, another week of how to lose football games. So Aaron Rodgers goes 17 for 28 for 233 and 2 touchdowns, but continues to get pressured the whole game. Breece Hall goes 16 carries for 80 yards. Garrett Wilson, terrific game, 5 receptions for 113 yards, but can't beat the Patriots with Drake May going down, who also had another encouraging game. But Jacoby Brissett comes in, finishes off the game with a pass to Ramondre Stevenson for unbelievably the Patriots win. And the Jets and Patriots are both 2-6. So Dolphins are 2-5, Jets are 2-6, Patriots are 2-6. The Bills are going to walk away with the AFC East. It's just a matter of time now. Next one, a great game in Tampa Bay between two really good teams. Sad for the Bucs because they're now 4-4 after this loss. But old Kirky Cousins comes out and has a great game. Kyle Pitts goes 4 receptions for 91 yards and 2 TDs. Actually, the controversial play in the game was that Kyle Pitts actually fumbled a touchdown right at the half-yard line, but the referees let it go. And again, Cousins has a great game. Baker Mayfield with another ridiculous stat line, 37 for 50, 330 yards and 3 TDs. But the Falcons come away with it, and the Falcons are 5-3, looking like they could run the AFC South at this point. Obviously, that was an in-division game, so we'll see what happens with the Falcons and Buccaneers. Both really good teams, and we'll probably see them in the playoffs, but it's just, who's going to have the defense to put up with it, because the Buccaneers defense did not really show up yesterday, and Kirk Cousins picked them apart. All right, next one, Packers and Jaguars in Jacksonville, and Jordan Love goes down with an injury again. The Jaguars look decent in this one and look like they have a fun offense to watch. 21 for 32 for 308 and 2 TDs for Trevor Lawrence. And Josh Jacobs goes on Green Bay's side, 25 for 127 and 2 TDs, a tight end reception on tight end day yesterday for Kraft. But the Packers come away with the win. So Malik Willis comes in, takes over for Jordan Love. God bless Jordan Love. I hope he gets healthy because he's so good. But Malik Willis comes in, saves the day, gets the Packers to a win. The Packers are 6-2. They are really solid. And if they can get Jordan Love healthy for a late stretch and into the playoffs, they're going to be really, really good. Okay, weird one in Houston with the Texans and Colts. I don't know, just a weird game. CJ Stroud goes 25 for 37 for 285 and 1 TD. But what comes out of this is that the Texans and Colts were pretty evenly matched, but Anthony Richardson tapped out of a play at one point, and that's the controversy today of, can quarterbacks tap out of a play, kind of like running backs or wide receivers that run every single time down the field? They tap out sometimes to get a replacement for themselves so they can get a breather. Anthony Richardson has a scramble, gets away, looks like he's kind of hurt, but he pops right back up. But he taps out, comes out of the game on a critical point in the game. And I think Colts fans are dying for Joe Flacco to get back in there, because the Colts could have won this game, could have been anybody's game, but the Texans come away with it. Now they're 6-2 and looking like they're going to sail all the way through to the playoffs. Next one, in LA, the Chargers and Saints. Kind of an ugly day for the Saints. Could not get anything going on offense. The Saints are not very good, especially without Derek Carr. And the Chargers win what you would probably call they should win that game. You should win that game. Ladd McConkey has a fantastic game with a breakout performance, 6 receptions for 111 for 2 TDs. Josh Herbert has a solid game, 2 TDs throwing, but the Chargers take care of business and win 26-8, and the Saints are bad. Feel bad for them. Feel bad for Nola down there. All right, let's move on to Seattle, where the Bills were visiting the Seahawks. Long trip to the West Coast, but the Bills come away with the Bills are probably okay. So let's take your AFC teams: Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, I mean, I don't know if anybody else is in that class. The Bills are really, really good. Josh Allen with another fantastic performance, 24 for 34 for 283 and 2 TDs. Let James Cook, 17 carries for 111 and 2 TDs. I should bet him on a 2+ TD prop every time because that dude can score them. And Shakir goes 9 receptions for 107. Just Bills come out there to the Seahawks' house, a really tough place to play in Lumen Field, and they dominate, win by 21. We'll see what happens with the Seahawks. They are Jekyll and Hyde. They go up, they go down. You just never know which way is up with them. The Panthers at the Broncos in Denver. Panthers score first. Bryce Young has a decent game, but the Broncos solid throughout. Bo Nix, good game. Some great catches, especially by Troutman, his tight end with the one-handed catch. 28 for 37, 284 and 3 TDs for Bo Nix, who keeps chipping away at getting better and better. Sutton, one of his favorite targets, 8 receptions for 100 yards. Broncos are solid, 5-3. They got a tough stretch coming up. I think they play the Chiefs and the Ravens. So they could come out of it 5-5, but that's why they needed to get to where they are in the schedule and in their win-loss record, just in case they lose these two to the Ravens and the Chiefs, so they can still salvage their season. But they're good. They're good. They've got a good team. Chiefs win again. I wish they wouldn't, but they do because they played a bad Raiders team, and Gardner Minshew gets hurt again. Aiden O'Connell's hurt. I don't know who's going to be playing. I think Ritter might play quarterback for the Raiders next. But Mahomes throws another interception, but also throws 2 TDs, goes for 262 yards. Travis Kelce goes 10 receptions for 90 yards and 1 TD. Again, tight end day yesterday, whatever that means. And the Chiefs win 27-20 in Las Vegas. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do, but they're not great. All right. Probably the most fun game to watch. Actually, let me rephrase that. Not a great game to watch because the Bears at the Commanders, the Bears, I don't know what to do with their coaching staff. I feel for those guys, but 2 big things. Their offensive coordinator, I don't know what's going on, but just watching them call plays throughout the night, and Caleb Williams, and he's a little bit of a mess, but his decision-making is getting better, but they're just a mess all night long. Jaden Daniels looks great off of his rib injury, comes back, goes 21 for 38 for 326 and a TD. And, of course, the play of the night was the TD itself, which was a Hail Mary with no time on the clock. So 2 mistakes. The Bears get up by, 3? They get up by 3 after the 2-point conversion. Banks is here to help me. So they get up, and I'm like, all right, so the Bears have got it at this point. And funny enough, I'm sitting there with Banks and my wife, and we're talking about it. I'm like, no way the Commanders are going to do anything here, but call me on FaceTime if they do. So sure enough, 30 seconds later, he calls me on FaceTime, and then my wife sends me the video of the Commanders throwing that ridiculous 60-yard Hail Mary, which, again, 2 major problems on that play. First, the Bears didn't rush enough people. And secondly, the safety, who's apologized for this whole play, or a cornerback, whatever it was, he was taunting the Commanders fans in Washington and then forgot his assignment, which was to box out the deep receiver. Well, sure enough, it goes into a scrum. The ball pops out, goes to the deep receiver, who's standing by himself in the end zone, and the Commanders win and go to 6-2. So the Bears are this close away from going 5-2 and being real contenders for the playoffs. And then all of a sudden the Commanders steal one, go to 6-2. They look great. But again, Jaden Daniels with another fantastic performance. He is Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going to say it every week. He's an MVP caliber. He's the next Lamar Jackson as far as he's a different player, but he's the next one to get multiple MVPs, I think. If the Commanders surround him with some talent, it's going to be impressive. All right, Cowboys at the 49ers. The poor Cowboys fans just cannot get it together. Again, another tight end touchdown here with Kittle getting one. The 49ers basically came out in the second half and dominated the game, so it wasn't as close. The Cowboys get a couple garbage time TDs, so it looks really close at 30-24, But Brock Purdy continues to impress. I thought he was great. And, he had a few missed passes, but overall, great game. And CeeDee Lamb goes for crazy numbers, 13 for 146 for 2 TDs. So the anytime TD people for CeeDee Lamb got to be loving life with that one. So that's it. That was Sunday Night Football. Cowboys at the 49ers. 49ers take the win, go to 4-4. And again, who knows what the 49ers are going to do down the stretch. If they can get healthy, which they're getting some pieces back. McCaffrey's going to come back. What's his name? The linebacker for the 49ers. Greenlaw, yes, is coming back. The 49ers are going to get better. And if they can stay healthy, they're going to be terrific. So let's look at Monday Night Football one more time. The 2-5 Giants, who can barely score touchdowns, are at the 5-2 Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 6-point favorite in this one. The total, very low total at 37.5. So will this be a low-scoring affair, or will the Steelers come out at home and dominate Russell Wilson in his second start? Does he go for over 200? Does he go for over 300? Will George Pickens have another big game? I think all signs – I think this line is soft at -6 for Pittsburgh. I think this is easily a 10-point victory. So my money line would be on Pittsburgh and also for Russell Wilson to go over 200 yards tonight. So that's your Week 8 recap here from Honorable Mention Sports. Help us out and support the channel. You can do it, link in bio, or go to honorablementionsports.com and check out the website. Support Josh and Caleb and the team. And